Hello, hello, and yeah, this is my first stream in quite a while. Hey there, guys. If anyone's there, like, hello. But yeah, this is the president. So yeah, let's just jump into the game, and I think it'll be quite easy to understand what sort of game it is. It is more or less sort of like This Is the Police. I think it's from the same developers, but it's about United States presidency and stuff. So we'll go on normal and we'll get right into it.
Hey, Bob. How much time do I have left?
Sir, I was ordered not to speak to you.
Son, I'm not asking you to die in a gunfight. I just want to know how much time I have left.
10 minutes.
I'll never finish all this in 10 minutes. Think you could help? Is it fair that your fellas are in the cafeteria right now, devouring their meatballs while you're stuck here staring at me? You were ordered not to talk to me, but they didn't say anything about lobster, right? Now, sit yourself down, right there. You can eat in silence. Otherwise, I'll just have to throw half of it out.
What? If anyone found out, I'd be fired.
Don't worry. I don't give up, my friends.
Quite a bit of
Some people.
what do you call it? Cinematics. Can you call it cinematic? And before the game
Your
starts,
name's
but
Bob, I gather. I haven't seen you here before. You a rookie?
this is just generally how the game will
I didn't know they were
look.
taking
Right? It's
16-year-olds
mostly
as
text
guards.
with
I'm playing.
with pictures.
20. Sorry. Mysterious age, isn't it? You can't legally buy yourself a beer after you have had a tough shift, but you can elect the president.
I don't drink, sir. Half my family are drunks. I know how dangerous it is.
Oh, alcohol is dangerous. But isn't the right to vote even more dangerous? If you were drinking like a fool, you'd only be harming yourself. But if you're voting like a fool, you're putting the entire nation at risk.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
voting
apparently
like
there's
a
at
fool.
least like a couple of
I
people
voted
there.
for a
So
man
hey
who would
there.
send all the shameless, corrupt officials to jail.
Well, one of those shameless, corrupt officials is now kindly treating you to lobster. Delicious, isn't it?
Sir, I didn't know, sir. I don't have anything against you personally, sir. I'm just glad the new president will finally fix the Constitution, that's all.
You do know that the president can't change the Constitution, right?
Well, why can't he? He's president.
President, yes, not king.
But presidents can sign decrees and all that.
Only Congress can propose and pass amendments. If you don't believe me, just Google it.
This cinematic is basically just telling us
president
how
do whatever
things
he
will
wants?
work, like what we're
Why
gonna
do we
need to do
presidents at
to
all?
pass the amendment, because that's
Ruta explained everything. to me.
that's
She
the kind of
thought she was
the
good.
goal of the game, to pass the amendment to get us,
Oh,
not be
If it's any consolation,
prosecuted
son,
for
you and
anything
your Aunt Ruth
after we are
aren't
out of the
only
office.
people fooled by our new president. I myself once trusted him. And look where it got me. This is a man who has always abused the trust of his friends, and now he has abused the trust of millions of Americans, people just like you.
so I really did vote like a fool, sir.
There's no mistake that cannot be corrected, Bob. Not in this country. We'll fix it, you and me, together. I can stop him. I know his weak points. I just need to get out of here as quickly as possible. Will you help me?
You're not planning an escape, are you, sir?
No. What are you saying? I have a great many friends who will help me walk right out through the front door, all perfectly legal. It's just that I'm a little cut off from the world right now, you see. But if you could just bring me a phone, I could set everything in place from right here in this cell.
I'm pretty
My
sure
phone?
this Archie will
Not
like
yours,
play
of
some sort of a
course.
role in the
Wouldn't
game.
want to risk that. Any other one.
We're gonna have to
Won't I
deal
get
with him.
fired for this?
Bob, when they find out that you helped me, you'll get an award.
Maybe he'll decide to
You're
have a
good
suicide
guy.
in
You can
his
see what's
cell.
going on. This
I don't
is
know.
a matter of national security.
With all the cameras suspiciously like broken and all the guards asleep and somewhere. No.
Sir,
I see how like suicide like that could
he,
happen.
he might not be an honest man, but he's still the president, right? The most powerful man in the world. Isn't that what they say? Isn't it just too dangerous to go against him?
Now, don't you trouble yourself about that, Bob. My 10 minutes are up. The president has a much longer term waiting for him.
And yeah, here we are. We basically won the election. And my friends, we have shown that the American dream is still alive. I am the son of immigrants who rose to become vice president. I'm living proof. We've shown that soulless corporations and Washington crooks don't get to decide things. The people of the United States have spoken. I'm proud of you, America, and I'm proud of our new commander-in-chief, who will give everything he's got for the good of America. Let me introduce you, Mr. President-elect, me. My fellow Americans, this victory is your victory. The authorities have artificially divided our country along party lines. I will be president for all Americans. Ruling class have nearly turned our country into a prison. The time has come to take our country back. Throughout the campaign, the establishment put sticks in. You know what? Why not prison? The ruling class have nearly turned our country into a prison. A prison where ordinary Americans do all the work and the establishment take all they earn. A prison where the overseers can get away with... no, because we are actually planning to do exactly that. We're planning to get away with any crime. A prison where ordinary Americans do all the work and the establishment takes all they earn. Throughout the campaign, the establishment put stickers in my spokes. The time has come to take our country. Throughout the campaign, the establishment put stick in my spokes. Sure, why not? That's why the mainstream media press ignored me for so long. The time has come to take our country back. I'm offering a rehab course for anyone in America. During my term, Amendment 28 of the Constitution will be passed. Yes, that's the goal, right? In 4 years, I will achieve more than... Yeah, let's go for the amendment. Be careful with your promises. If you do not keep your word, the people won't like it. I'm pretty sure that's doable. I will sign a truly progressive first executive order. I will appoint a black chief. That seems like super easy thing to do. Like in the United States, like... Sure. We'll do that. And I will donate $1 million to charity. That depends on like what kind of charity. Non-monetary assets into a trust. Well, how will that work? Like, will it be a trust that is controlled by, say, my, like, I don't know, wife or something like that. That's the crucial point. Yeah, like, you know, I will transfer all my non-monetary assets into a trust. Sure, why not? And no, that will not do. That it seems like can cause a lot of division. I won't make any more promises for now. First, I will fulfill the ones I made. I think that's good enough, right? I want to thank the new First Lady, my brilliant Ellie. Without her support, I would never have become president. Okay. I also want to thank the new Vice President, Antonio Esteba. It was he who convinced me to run. If, God forbid, something happened to me, America will be in good hands. His experience with... you know what? It was he who convinced me to run. I want to thank the entire campaign staff. Huh. First of all, my analyst and campaign strategist, Ollie, he led me to victory. Most of all, my lawyer, Clint. Without him, I would have drowned in litigation. And especially my communications director, Alta. She wrote this speech as always. Sure, that sounds like a good joke, right? But who knows? And I want to thank President Feist. Sure, if he hadn't sold out to the establishment, I'd never have become president. And that's it for me. I know, God bless the United States of America. There we go. Yeah, 5% ratings bump. Seems pretty good, right? From a speech. Your approval rating goes up when you say and do things the public likes. When you make popular decisions, you are exposed by the media. Your approval ratings goes down. Be careful. If your rating goes below 25%, you could lose your position. Really? Is that how it works? If American president suddenly goes below 25%, he is no longer president. I think Biden should like be worried. Isn't he like in 30s or something? Joe Lynn, right in the center. In his speech, new-elect president showed that his victory was no accident. He senses the hopes and dreams of America and indulges them. Although in this speech, the word I sounded much more often than the word we. It will still surely go down in history. Oh, thanks, Joe. Okay, what do we do next? This is all still exposition, right? Like what we need to do, how things needs to be done. Man, you're always so irresistible. That speech nearly brought tears to my eyes. Finally, kick the crooks out of the White House. Huh, that's right, Tony. Their days are numbered. 3 months and we'll have our revenge. Tony, we didn't run this campaign so we could get revenge. We did it to amend the Constitution. Yeah, sure, Tony. Revenge isn't the best motivation. Because, you know, like freedom is. Maybe so, buddy, but you still did take down Feist in your speech. Remember, the people don't care what our motivation is, as long as we are making their lives better. Then it's time to prove that those aren't just empty words. Just got word from the headquarters that we have urgent business. Let's get going, but first, let's open a bottle of vintage champagne that I hid in the office to celebrate our victory. Okay, let's do that. What a shame, buddy. The bottle of champagne is gone. Could be that we drank it last week when we celebrated my birthday. But don't lose hope, my friend. I just saw Ellie. She wants you in her office. She had a pointer in her hand. Somebody's in for an exciting night. Well, Tony certainly has his head in the clouds. I still let him soar, so long as we don't get carried off ourselves. We can't take our eye off what's important. You know the truth, my dear, so I don't go to prison. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Exactly. At least if I were the one going to the prison... I'd have slight chance of getting out, but you... How many days do you think you'll last in jail with no bodyguards? I've said 100 times, but I still worry that sometimes you get carried away and forget why we started all this. If at the end of the 4 years we haven't gotten you lifelong immunity, we're dead. Always keep that in mind. How do I get immunity? I'll go over it again from the top. It's been a long while since the last time we talked about it. Okay. So how exactly do we change the Constitution? Amendment 28 will ensure our lifelong immunity in the Constitution. They won't be able to open the case against you, no one can arrest you, you'll be beyond the reach of the police, the FBI, the NSA, even God Almighty. First, we need to get the amendment before the Congress. To do this, we'll need powerful allies in both houses. Okay, everybody has their price. There's probably a list. Believe it or not, we've come up with one, but supporting the amendment is too tricky to pin a number on. But we've taken care of it. I found a lobbyist who, for a modest one-time investment, will bring us together with influential congressmen. How much is modest? A $7 million, a mere trifle for changing the Constitution. Our lobbyist's name is Noah. He has a lot of connections at the Capitol. When he puts his back into it, he can push any policy through. Remember the recent sweeping tax cuts for the wealthy? Disguised as simplifying the tax code? Noah played a decisive role in that one. Yeah, that's one steep trifle, but it doesn't seem we have much of a choice. We don't. No one could do this better than Noah. I'd rather we had a choice, but we have to work with what we have. Okay, so what's next? Noah will introduce us to influential congressmen. However, he himself won't be negotiating with them. That part is up to us. Which brings us to step 2. Gain the support of 2/3 of the Congress. Sounds like a lot, 2/3. Founding fathers weren't fools. They protected the Constitution from people like us by providing a system of checks and balances. Our party currently dominates both chambers, but it is still far short of 2/3. So we should follow standard investment strategy and diversify our options. It means stuffing several baskets at once, including baskets in the other party. After that, amendment needs to be ratified, right? Honey, I'm so glad you remember the plan. A minimum of 38 states must be... Oh shit, that's a lot of stuff that we need to do to just not go to jail. Can't we just run somewhere? It seems like an overkill, frankly. I'm looking to this, it gave me a headache. There are certain states that are always going to be hostile towards you. The local governors, mayors, the judges, the legislature, the whole system is against you. So we had to think tactically. Instead of trying to win over the local elite, who will never really support you, we'll enlist the support of the people. And how exactly are we going to do that? just like they did today. They'll vote, except that voting for the amendment can be organized without electors and all that other nonsense. There's one problem, however. The procedure for ratifying the amendment is written into the law. The establishment will easily block it unless we change the ratification procedure. And for that, we'll need Supreme Court, of course. We need the court to side with us so that the voters themselves in each state, ordinary people who are much easier to sway, can vote for the amendment. Otherwise, it's down to the local legislature, and a lot of them would rather see you burn. At present, the majority of the Supreme Court is against us. We'll need to replace at least one opposing judge with an ally before we can bring the amendment directly to the people. That's the third step of the plan. And how do we remove the judge? I'm working on that, but it's not an easy task. Once appointed, Supreme Court judges serve life terms. To get one of them off the bench will be a major operation. I know, some sort of an accident. Of course, even once we've dealt with the court, the people still have to vote on the amendment. The campaign for passing this amendment will have to be even stronger than your election campaign. You have a lot of convincing to do, including people in the states that are hostile towards you. Okay. Keep in mind that without popular support, our amendment could later be repealed. How long did prohibition last? 13 years? You don't want to lose your immunity just to go in jail for retirement, do you? To achieve the support, this amendment needs we'll need to record. That's a stupid sentence, isn't it? Something the amendment needs will need records high approval ratings across the country. According to calculations at headquarters, you'll need. How many needs can you put in one in one paragraph? An astounding 90% approval rating. That's the final piece of the puzzle. Yeah, well, that's easy. 90% approval ratings, right? I'm from Kazakhstan. Like, that happens all the time. 90%. Like, all the time. Almost every election. We had 90% approval rating. Probably more, like. So what do you think of the plan? It's no easy task, but we can handle it. You know, let's be optimistic about it. Yes, and besides, there's no way back. Let's get to work, my dear. My dear President, let's get to work. Okay, I think now actual proper game will start. Mr. President, I'm ready to introduce your amendment to a circle of influential congressmen for a modest sum of $7 million. Why is the price so low? I usually ask tens of millions of dollars for my services, even when it comes to a minor change in labor laws. And we speak here of an amendment to the Constitution, no less. But you're lucky, I offer a big discount to newcomers to politics. That's why I told your wife that $7 million is nothing for what you want to pull off. I will be waiting for payment details until the end of the October 2021, so in 1 year. And I would advise you not to spend all your money. Save at least a couple of millions for the negotiations themselves. Or find some incriminating evidence that will force your interlocutors to defect to your side. So take your time and come when you're ready. However, keep in mind that the time limit cannot be extended. Okay, so we need, I don't know, somewhere about 10 million before, what, like in a year? We have 12 months left. Okay, gotcha. Events, first order of business, and a negotiating position. Okay, well, you may get distracted by the country's problems, but remember that your main goal is to pass Amendment 28. If you forget that, what you need to accomplish, this is the goal step. Okay, so yeah, in 2021 we need well, more or less $10 million. In 2022, we need Congress to approve that amendment, and in 2023, Supreme Court, and then we need people to ratify it. Okay, gotcha. Darling, I understand the entire procedure of passing an amendment is a bureaucratic nightmare. If you ever forget what needs to be done and what's going to happen next, consult the checklist. That's what I made it for. Okay, Ellie. Politician tends to forget their promises. If you need to help remembering yours, click on the Promises tab. We need to complete them all in 4 months, really? Set a progressive first executive order. Okay, so let's just select one order and sign it, I guess. Appoint the first ever black chief of staff. That sounds like super easy things to do. And transfer your non-monetary assets into a trust. Okay, so how do I... Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was a check mark. This is just... Your campaign staff has drafted several potential first executive orders, each of which could be described as progressives. Sign whichever one you choose before the end of February 2021. Okay. Appoint the first ever black chief of staff. If you appoint a minority ethnic individual as a chief of staff by the end of February 2021, African American constituency will appreciate the gesture. It says minority ethnic individual, but only African American constituency will approve that, I guess. So yeah, only black chief of staff, not just any minor ethnic minority. Transfer all your non-monetary assets into a trust. The legal department is preparing to transfer your non-monetary assets into another form to prevent any conflicts of interest during your presidency. You can have them transferred to a trust when the time comes. Okay? Seems like a relatively easy thing to do, I think. All politicians make promises, but nobody ever keeps them. Let's show people we are different. Try to fulfill the promises you made during your speech before the end of February. This will make public trust us, and they'll be more forgiving when it comes to keeping promises later. Next time, we'll have a year at least. Okay. Yeah, I think it was probably the right decision to just go for, you know, like what, 3? Probably maybe taking the 4th one would be a good one. To like make one of them per month or something. The cards in the left column are events you can engage with. Some of the events aren't available until you fulfill certain conditions. So, which is get $7 million. Oh, and they are actually can be seen here. Can we move map? Like to the west, for example? Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay. First order of business then. Find out what your staff has prepared for you. I like the music. It's actually really chill. Can we actually go into... I'll probably make it a little bit louder. Because I made it a little bit, you know, quieter so that I could hear myself think. But it's actually really good and chill. Oh, that's way too loud. That's way too loud. No. 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 Can like I get a slider instead of like this thing? That would have been so much better. Buddy, you made a promise to sign a progressive first executive order, and you have to keep it. You're not some jerk like Faced who says one thing and does another, are you? You see that bunch of waste paper on your desk? In fact, it's 5 projects you can consider for your first executive order. Clint prepared them based on the most popular suggestions your supporters made during the campaign. I say without hesitation that they are all truly progressive. So don't be shy, choose the executive order that suits you best. Declassify Area 51 documents? What can... Okay, good thing. I was worried there for a second that if I'll click it, that will be that. Draft first executive order... The US government is hiding their documents on UFOs and Area 51. When the inauguration takes place, you will have the power to declassify them. This will show American people that their new president is dedicated to openness and transparency. However, this order won't be appreciated by the military and the other government officials. Some of these documents may contain military secrets. 68% of Americans believe that the government is hiding information about aliens from them. 33% of Americans believe that at least some of the known UFO incidents were, in fact, real alien encounters. I wonder if this is a real data. 6% of Americans attribute UFO sightings to natural phenomena and chance. Huh. Like 68% of Americans believe that that government hides information about aliens from them, but at the same time 60% of Americans, well, I mean, I guess it's not mutually exclusive, isn't it? Like maybe like all the sightings are fake, but the real ones are in Area 51 or something like that. Draft of first executive order, cure yeah. Like, I wish like the cancer could be cured with just executive order. That'd be great, right? Despite progress in the early detection and treatment of cancer, hundreds of thousands of Americans die every year from its many different forms. Your predecessor called for cancer funds. You can go further by assembling the best scientists and funding the creation of great laboratory that will finally discover a universal cancer vaccine. This will communicate to the people that the health of your fellow Americans is your top priority. But pharmaceutical companies won't like this order. More than 600,000 Americans die of cancer every year. 54% of Americans are closely related to someone with cancer. That's a huge amount of number, right? Like half of people in the US have a relative that has cancer or had, cancer. That's a lot. People. 20% of Americans who are diagnosed with cancer die from it. Defeat poverty. Like, a little bit ambitious, isn't it? Among the richest countries in the world, the United States ranks second in terms of poverty. Previous presidents organized campaigns to combat poverty, but they never took the plunge and tried to solve the problem. By taxing the rich and abolishing corporate benefits and sharing the wealth with regular people, this order will show that you're on the side of the people, but rich won't like it. I don't think we want to piss off the rich, because, who has all the power? Rich people. 11% of Americans are considered poor. That's a relatively low number, all things considered. I would have thought that a lot more would be considered poor, but I guess 21 basically percent of African Americans are considered poor. So twice the number of people that are considered poor in general. 0.01 of the wealthiest Americans own the same amount of wealth as 90% of the nation's population. I'm pretty sure I heard this statistics like somewhere else, so it's probably actually a true thing, right? Like all these numbers here, which is really interesting. Ban online advertising. No, we're not doing that. Like, come on. Because, I work in advertisement. That's a big no-no. If America doesn't lead the way to colonize Mars... Oh, colonize Mars. Okay, that's more like it. Someone else will. Plus, government exploration of Mars is the only way to ensure that its resources will go to the people, not to the corporations. With this order, you'll prove that you're looking into the future, but energy companies won't. Why would energy companies not like that? That seems like... What? 63% of Americans support sending astronauts to Mars. 72% of Americans want US to be leader in space exploration. 7% of Americans are ready to set off for Mars in order to return to Earth. Yeah, let's choose to go to Mars. Why not? Like, that seems like it is the least difficult thing to do out of all the things that they mentioned. You're on fire. You're on fire, my friend. Your first executive order is going down in history with a blast. It's cool that your sites aren't just limited to America. Well, I think most American presidents have sites on like pretty much the entire world, huh? But now you're setting yourself against the international energy corporations. Do you know what they'll do when we start to colonize Mars? Like, I really don't see like how exactly this is connected. The colonization of Mars and energy resources. Like, even if we'll colonize Mars, it's like probably centuries before anything like even can be gotten from there. Like, what? They'll try to claim Martian resources? Yes, at their first opportunity. Alta and I were walking along the corridors and heard you discussing the first executive order. I can accept that you didn't ask me, but the whole floor could hear you. So, it's not like any of it is secret. People here are not going to leak our plans to the enemy, even at gunpoint. Well, if you say so, I have to admit that the idea of the first executive order is perfect. Really? I was afraid you wouldn't like it. Why? It's a wonderful distraction. While the establishment and journalists are packing their bags for Mars, we'll be able to work on our amendment in peace. I like, this guy seems like he's a true believer, right? He like totally believes in me being a good person. Like, why not? Why disappoint him, right? Honestly, I want to give humanity a backup plan. I'm just the good guy. Are you saying that by the end of your first term, life on Earth will become completely unbearable? Who knows? Maybe. Life on Earth is already unbearable. The crooks in Washington have made it that way. Fighting against them is suicide, Tony. If we really want to achieve something, we'll need to show some wisdom. I understand perfectly well that you have the best intentions, but now's not the time for reckless decisions. No problem, Ellie. There will be a time for reckless decisions, maybe tomorrow, after we've all gotten a good night's sleep. I'm off for now. Congratulations to the country's new first family. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get people to Mars. Okay, new team member, Clint Glover. My lawyer, apparently. Okay. Honey, I always believed that with the team like we've got, sky's the limit, and we've got Clint to thank for it. I've just remembered that even before I met you, I had heard of him. Someone called him a district judge's bastard and an upstart lawyer. Others said he was a legal genius who never lost a single case. And now, case law students are studying his legal strategies. Try not to lose Clint, alright? I can't imagine who else would compose your decrees so competently. Okay. Oh, Men in Black. What's going on? Sir, at the entrance to the HQ, I noticed two suspicious men in dark suits and glasses. They were obviously following us, taking lots of pictures and always checking their phones. Well, they might be Secret Service agents, but they also might be, go find who they are. So apparently this is our bodyguard, Alvaro Guardado. Sir, the two men saw me, and as soon as I started moving towards them, they quickly got into an unmarked black van and drove off. One of them had scars across his face, and the other was limping on his left side. Okay. If I see them again, I'll let you know right away. Okay. So, he is apparently our bodyguard. Good to know. I'm assuming I'll be sending them to, like, on some sort of missions, right? Like, this is the police, right? Where I've been sending, like, police officers to do stuff. After his brother's death, Alvaro is not himself. He sees murderers and conspirators at every step. That may be perfectly natural for a bodyguard who has vowed to protect you with his life, but I still worry about him. Honey, please don't ask too much from Alvaro. Oh, hey Hassan, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. How's life been? I feel he's already at his limit. This is our data scientist, Ollie Skolov. Chief, I'm sorry to be calling you out of nowhere, but it's an emergency. Someone is trying to hack the server at HQ. According to protocol, I should pull the plug on the hacker immediately, but if you let me, I could track him, find out who he is and what he's after. It's not protocol because it's risky while I'm tracking him down. He might break into our secure files. Okay, keep an eye on him. I want to know who's sticking their noses into my affair. Chief, I tracked down the hacker and cut off his access. It looks like he didn't manage to get anything important out of our servers. We traced the hack to the address of a consulting company that works for the White House and Congress. Hacker seemed focused on accessing your schedule and itinerary. Okay. And that's our... was it strategist? Analyst? Data analyst. Cool. This was the 5th hacker attack in 2020. Thank goodness our Olin is not only a talented analyst, but also a real computer genius. I heard people laughing behind your back when you put an ad in a paper looking for a computer specialist. But if it weren't for that, Ollie would still be working for Feist or for his contractor. Oh, the outgoing president, you Feist. Mr. President-elect, a real man must lose with dignity. Congratulations. According to tradition, I invite you to the White House so we can begin transition period. We'll talk in private and then we'll go to a press conference. Okay. Lame duck, new event. Let's go to... oh. Yeah, these are our guys, right? Your team members appear along the bottom of the screen. These people will obey any orders without question or almost any order. So yeah, this is pretty much like... I'm assuming this is the police. Oh, and they will have their, like, skills. This is protecting clients, preemptive attacks, spying on people, physical threats, filling court cases, behind-the-scene negotiations, connection from former clients, persuasion, okay, preparing data-driven reports, writing to a personal blog, hacking people, using this file. Okay, good to know. Lame duck. So hey Hassan, how have you been? It's good to see you, Mr. President-elect. Have a seat, make yourself at home, and get used to it. Soon this will be your home. So, how's life here? Not bad, the walls are a little ragged, 4 years, and I never had time to paint them. Maybe you'll find the next time. Maybe you'll find the time. You said that you know how to fix not just the White House, but the whole country. Yeah, it's not just the walls that we need fixing. We need a new foundation. Are you considering massive renovation? Well then, best not lose any time. The press are waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I've already managed to have a few words with Mr. President-elect. You know, I'm terribly uncomfortable talking about this, but I'm always honest with you, so I can't be silent. Next commander-in-chief is an ordinary hypocrite. Huh. Do we want to be, like, residential and stuff, or do we want to go full on him as well? Well, let him talk. In public, Mr. President-elect is constantly accusing me of having sold out to the establishment. But in our private conversation, he's just said that he's willing to do anything it takes to earn my friendship. Numbers of my patrons. Mr. President-elect, is what Mr. Feist saying is true? It's not my nature to kind of private conversation in public. That's more like a side dig right at him. Let's go with that. You see, he's afraid to answer for his words. Feist, don't turn it into a circus. Huh. As soon as the conversation turns uncomfortable, he immediately tries to turn it into a circus. Joe, let's take the next question. Question for Mr. President-elect. On the eve of the election, Goldman magazine estimated your fortune at 350 million. Is that estimate as at all accurate? Is that how rich I am? My wife will be thrilled. Have you decided how you're going to get rid of your assets before the inauguration? I'll keep my promise and put them into a blind trust. I think that's exactly what I promised, so sure, we'll do that. Now that you're to be president, will it be difficult for Federal Prison Bureau to get their money laundering lawsuit through the courts? As one of the defendants in the case, are you breathing a sigh of relief? None of that bothers me, I know I'm innocent. We'll have an amendment to prove that. This remains to be decided by a jury. Everyone who has studied the case knows that what a miracle it is that our new president escaped prison sentence. Feist, don't interrupt me. I'm the one answering questions now. I admit it, I'm out of line, Joe. What's your next question? You've often claimed that your former business partners were unjustly condemned. As presidency, you'll have the part of pardon. Are you planning on correcting the miscarriage of justice, as you put it? I'd like to set things right, but it is my duty to respect the court's decision. During your election campaign, you hardly talked about international relations. What will your foreign policy be? I will focus on American problems. The USA isn't the world's policeman. I will use my connections with Middle Eastern and Russian businessmen. I'll put things in order across the globe. The Chinese, the Russians can no longer do whatever they want. I will focus on American problems. The USA isn't the world's policeman. I wish it was true, but hey. I see, Mr. President-elect. Just one more question. A reliable source from inside your team has informed me that your first act as a president will be commencing the colonization of Mars. Is that true? And is it also true that your actual intention is to run off to Mars by yourself to escape the effects of climate change? And who is this reliable source? Can I get a person? Sorry, sir, but I never reveal my sources. Are you seeing this? Our new president can't keep anything secret. For 4 years, there was never a single leak from my administration. Joe wouldn't let me lie, right, Joe? That's right, Mr. President-elect. Please answer the question. Are you really planning on run away to Mars by yourself to escape climate change? You can try to bait me all you want. Does anyone have any serious questions? Yes, one final question, Mr. President. Is he the only one on, like, the only journalist on the whole press conference? Look at the picture. Look at the picture, how many of them there are. Why is he the only one who's, like, asking all these questions? God damn, man. Like, take your turn. Yes, one final question for the President faced. How would you sum up today's meeting with Mr. President-elect? My fellow Americans, I applaud your choice, but my dear friend doesn't care about America. All he cares about are his own personal ambitions. He wanted to be president so much that he became one. America is just a toy for him. He'll... Jared says lol. Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, this game is very satirical. America is just a toy for him. He'll tinker with it for a time, then cast it aside when he grows tired of it. But we still have to live here. Not every American knows what I'm talking about. Not yet. But soon I will. Soon it will all become clear. I only hope it's not too late. Thank you for your answer, Mr. President Fast and Mr. President-elect. Okay, good. Ooh, I got myself some rating bump. The President-elect emerged victorious from his first press conference since the election, but that won't put an end to the rumors surrounding his first executive order. Tell me, Mr. President-elect, are you really going to escape to Mars? Wasn't that in what was that movie called? Don't Look Up, where they eventually escape to the other planet, right? Face it, the bastard. Not only did he lie, but his lackey Joe sniffed out what our first decree would be. You don't think that the decree was leaked by someone from our headquarters? Well, who else knew, dude? You're supposed to be a former FBI, you know? Like, get investigating or something. I can't believe it. I'm sure this is the work of the establishment, which bugged our office through and through. Buddy, I wouldn't put up with it. When I work for the FBI, see, like, I knew what he'll say. I always try to strike while the iron is hot. It's easier to get down to bedrock this way. Therefore, I will investigate immediately, and I promise that I will expose the villain. Or my name is Antonio Estaba. Okay, Tony, get to it. Honey, I can see that Tony missed his days at the FBI, and he decided to play investigator. Whatever makes him happy, I'd say as long as it doesn't prevent us from promoting the amendment. Not only he'll probably figure out at the end of his investigation that he is the one who did it. Yeah, seems like it. He seems like the type of guy to do it. Meanwhile, we should deal with, like, always blabbering. You know the type of people like that. I certainly do. Meanwhile, we should deal with a few pressing issues, draft the amendment and the first decree, and staff your administration. Please delegate this task to our best. We have no room for error right now. As for the leak of the first decree, Alta has an idea how to turn it in our favor. Go speak with her, and she'll tell you everything. Okay, that's a lot of new tasks. Draft the amendment, compose first executive order, fill the administration, how to fix a leak. Okay. How to fix a leak. Alta Randor, our communications director. Listen, what the hell is going on? Not only it has some more leaked details of your first executive order, but now these imbeciles are saying that you're going to sneak off to Mars. What are those idiots talking about this time? They're broadcasting news faster than they can think, and you're their favorite story. Okay, at least you didn't admit that you really are working on that very executive order. You'd only be adding fuel to the fire. Huh? What? Is that what's supposed, like, is that the proper answers to that questions? And Ellie, they finally got me. What? And Ellie? Ellie? Oh, right. I see. They're broadcasting info. Okay, at least you didn't. What? Am I missing something? Like, it seems like there's some sort of a dialogue option, dialogue missing. They're broadcasting news faster than they can think, and you're their favorite story. Okay, at least you didn't admit that you really are working on that very executive order. And Ellie, have you missed my remark about the bus to stewardess? Yes, I think I did miss that remark about the bus to stewardess. In other words, we need a surefire way. Easy to disprove, right? My father was an astronomer. I'm assuming my father wasn't an astronomer, and he disowned me for turning my back on his great passion. Perfect, and your father was really just an ordinary accountant, right? Okay, now let's figure out how your father influenced you. And remember, we've got to be able to disprove the story. I inherited my father's genes. My father made me attend an astronomy club at school. Well, I'm assuming I didn't attend any clubs at school, so that should be pretty easy to prove, right? I also dreamed of being on the ISS. My father once visited the station. Okay, that probably is also easy to disprove. To continue the family tradition, I've signed up as one of the local volunteers who are prepared to take the journey. The problem is, like, people will not buy it, right? Because pretty much easy to find out who was on ISS. So let's go with this one. My father made me attend an astronomy club at school. That will work, and you never went to such a club. I expect we can get confirmation from your school about that. Finally, think about possible reason why you want to colonize Mars. I'm sure there are aliens hiding on Mars, and I'm determined to find them. I want to escape the effects of climate change. Mars is rich in many resources and want them to be mine. I've never been allowed to go into space, even though I've been applying my whole life. This sounds like a great idea. Oh, that's just what we need, and since you're not on the record of volunteering to go to space, we can easily disprove the rumor. Finally, think of the possible reason why you want to colonize Mars. How can we disprove that, I wonder? Mars is rich in many resources, and I want them to be mine. I want to escape the effects of... you know what? Aliens. Aliens. That's always the answer. Kaibo, let's agree on one thing. No aliens, only UFOs. We don't want people starting to think you actually believe in all that conspiracy nonsense. Oh, come on. Finally, think of a possible reason why you want to colonize Mars. Mars is rich in resources, I guess. Fine. Spoil sport. Yes, that's a realistic reason, but the problem is we won't be able to prove that it's false. Well, how are we going to prove the fact that, you know, I'm not trying to run away from the effects of climate change? My father was an astronomer. He disowned me for turning my back on his great passion. My father made me attend an astronomy club. Mars is rich in many resources, and I want them to be mine. Alright, this rumor is going to be perfect. Refute it, and you're golden. Okay. Hopefully you know what you're doing, Alta. My new team member, apparently communications director. So, if Alta says we should spread stupid rumors, then we will do so. She has earned our full trust during the campaign, no less than Alvaro, Clint, or Ollie. I'm just saying that because she's a friend of mine. I'm just saying that because... I guess there's a not missing, and I'm not just saying that because she's... fine. She's saying that only because she's a friend, right? Ava Sartor, philanthropist. Mr. President-elect, did you know that every self-respecting ruler has his own charity? My wife has asked me to register a foundation called Hands of Good. It will come in handy if you want to do a couple of good deeds or more. Hands of Good will not attract the attention of the tax authorities, so you could dispose of the funds money at your whim. Give everything to the orphans or to civil servants if you wish to pay your employees' salary. It will be called humanitarian aid. The people trust you, and you do not doubt that these expenses, whatever they are, will always benefit our country. That's a lot of text. I'm already like hard for me to talk. Drop the amendment. Okay, let's do that. Send a suitable employee on the mission to keep this. Keep in mind that they will not return until next month. Oh, okay. So what's her skills? Writing press releases, spreading rumors, speaking with journalists, public decks. Okay. Behind the scene negotiating, filing court cases. Connection from persuasion. Preparing down-driven reports. Writing person. I don't know. Seems like drafting an amendment is a good work for a lawyer, right? Okay, off you go, Clint. Field administration. Okay, Mr. President, you personally make the decision on key appointments in the administration, but beyond that, we need to hire an army of clerks to handle the day-to-day business of government. Understand that you can't approve every candidate, you have better things to do, but maybe you could send someone from your team to supervise the process? Sure, like data analyst sounds like a great idea for that, right? Go crunch some numbers. Okay, and compare the first executive order. Buddy, please appoint one of your team members in charge of drafting the first executive order to colonize Mars. It's always like that. Nothing gets off the ground until you put someone in charge. Okay, I think that's a great person, right? Speeches and press releases, I mean, not exactly a press release, but close enough, go. You dealt with everything that was urgent, and now move on to the next month. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, my ratings improved like 5%, even more, huh? Cool. December 2020. Honey Clean has finished with the correction and has prepared you an abstract with the main thesis. No president of the United States shall be prosecuted after their term in office is over for the decisions made before the terms was over. Okay, cool. Thanks, Clint. Oh. Mr. President, only compiled psychological profiles for each of the positions, loaded list of resumes into the machine, and it assigned the best people to all the positions. Only time will tell how full automation will prove itself, but the people are already impressed with our progressive approach to human resource policy. Cool, extra boost to our popularity. Buddy, Alta claims to have drafted the version of the first executive order that most people support. She ensures that even in today's arbitrary courts, not a single bastard will be against colonizing Mars. Alta has prepared summary of the decree for you. Check out what he, isn't it she? I guess I shouldn't assume her gender, right? If America doesn't lead the way and colonize Mars, someone else will. Plus, government exploitation of Mars is the only way to ensure its resources will. Plus, government exploration of Mars is the only way to ensure its resources will go to the people, not to the corporations. You will colonize Mars. Okay, yeah. Cool. And yeah, I guess no change in our budget. What are the president-elect supporters saying? And if president's father weren't an astronomer, maybe life in America would be better? The country still hasn't recovered from the shock of the presidential election. Rumor has it in establishment circles that President Faced won't be giving up so easily and planning both formal procedures and informal maneuvers to remain in White House for as long as possible. Okay. Tell you what, brother, that new president, that's Coyote. I know him. I used to go on runs for him back in the 90s. I figured one of the competitions took him down by now, but look, he's been rising high. Oh shit, and Clint works for him too. Okay. David Setter, Prime Minister of Israel. Greeting, Mr. President-elect. I have come to New York on an unannounced visit to handle personal matter. I'm sure you're extremely busy right now, but if you could give me some time, I would be most grateful to meet you in person. Sure thing. So how about giving the journalists public flogging? We have all the documents we need to expose rumors. The main thing is to keep calm and hammer the facts. Deny everything that they're trying to hang on you. Once the journalists realize that they can't provoke you, they'll calm down. Okay, will do. So, unexpected visit and fabricated rumor. Let's start with the rumor, because I'm interested how that will turn out. Oh, you received the first document you can sign. All signable documents are stored in a separate tab. Okay, what can we sign? Colonize Mars. You can start signing documents as soon as you are inaugurated, but you can use the time before you become president to lobby your first executive order. Okay. Lobbying costs money, but if you hype up the document before you sign it, it will give you a bigger ratings bump. Okay, good to know. Lobbying takes a month. Each document can be lobbied twice for an even bigger rating boost. Let me check. So, okay. Seems like 8% boost for 200,000. I feel like you go for level 3 just only to, like, if you're desperate, right? If you need to get it done, like, urgently. Additional, I don't know, how much is it? Additional 5%? 6%? Yeah, let's go lobby it for 1 month. I think 8% is a lot better than that. Will be a lot better than 1%, obviously. To speed up window and text animations, hold down the right mouse. Okay. true? Ladies and gentlemen of media, please don't forget to check your facts before asking questions. I'm looking at you, Joe. Yes, Alta, I checked everything. Sir, I'm Joe Lin, from newspaper right in the center. The question is, do you know anything about the reports that you hated clubs when you were at school, but your parents forced you to? That's a lie. Now, no one forced me to do astronomy at school. But I didn't say anything about astronomy. I was talking about clubs in general. Why do you bring up astronomy, Mr. President-elect? Because the rumors were about astronomy. Not as far as I know, Mr. President-elect. Shit. I guess he caught me. Unless you yourself were the one who started the rumor. George Kennett, and the rest of you too. This is your last warning. Let's hear the next question. Mr. President-elect, according to my sources, you are now working on an amendment to the Constitution, and all the noise surrounding your first executive order is just cover. Could you please comment? Well, no. He didn't catch me, because she asked me about my father, astronomer. So, like that's reasonable thing to conclude, really. Yeah, could you please comment on the amendment to the Constitution? You journalists are the ones making the noise. We're quietly working on several initiatives. Is it true that you're preparing to introduce the amendment in case the Supreme Court blocks your first executive order? I decline to comment further. Ladies and gentlemen, I did warn you, but you wouldn't listen. Unfortunately, we're forced to conclude this press conference. Just a moment, let me share a few thoughts in closing. Folks, I appreciate your professionalism, but also ask you to appreciate my time. I'll soon be present, ladies and gentlemen, and you will pay for this. Just imagine that, like a president goes on the stage, you will all pay for this. Friends, next time, come to the press conference properly prepared. Thanks to those of you who followed the rules of proper decorum. Until next time. Can't believe they wanted a war and they got one. You started strong and did everything as we planned. I'm glad you didn't fall for their provocations. She was clearly trying to catch you up. You weren't ready for that. For future references, if something like that happens again, it wouldn't be a bad idea to show a little emotion. The people can understand that. Those bastards were being completely disrespectful, and I had to stop them before they forced you to blurt out something. Okay. Ooh, that's not good. Why, one wonders, did Mr. President-elect convene his press conference? Okay, like, screw you, Joe. Asshole. Melissa Jenkins, Prosecutor General. Sir, President Feist signed an executive order pardoning 100 convicts. Among them were his cousin Thomas, sentenced for cocaine possession, and a wealthy family heiress who was serving time for fraud, and a businessman accused of tax evasion. It's scary to imagine having hundreds of dangerous criminals roam our beautiful country. Would you like me to delay the pardon procedures so that the convicts don't get out while Feist is still in office? Yeah, maybe they will actually come to me for, getting a pardon. Maybe they can, like, pay me a little bit, because we need 10 millions. That's at least what I'm thinking. Head of Natural Resource Defense Council. Mr. President, your predecessor withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement. In the meantime, US greenhouse gas emissions have increased by 8%. Why don't we sign the treaty again and protect America from extinction? Well, it's a little bit overdramatic, isn't it? Can I see, like, at least, like, what people think about it? Like, some sort of a, how does America feel about all that? Will I get some points from that? I mean, like, sure, whatever. Honey, the editor of the Body Positive magazine invited me to do a shoot for their 2021 calendar. I would love to do it, but first I want to check with you. It is supposed to be a nude photo shoot without makeup and retouch. I guess retouch, right? Would you agree to let whole world see your first lady on the door? Sure, whatever. As long as it bring me popularity points, do whatever. Unexpected visit. Right. Prime Minister of Israel. Good evening, Mr. President-elect. Please take a seat. Mr. President, what are you doing here? Yes, it's me, sharing war stories with my old friend. The leaders of our two countries always have something to discuss, and I specifically asked David to call you. If I'd invited you myself, you'd never come. David is one of the few people who really understands me. After all, he was once pushed out of office himself. However, nothing could prevent the schmuck from returning. You're the one who's the schmuck, do you? You framed Mr. President-elect. Excuse him. Dew is a great man. He just hasn't yet come to his senses after his recent defeat. Seriously, David, it doesn't bother me at all. I'm overjoyed. Finally, I can get out of that fucking hole they call the White House. Seriously, you really don't want to be the president anymore? Everyone wants to be a president until he becomes one. I've already said it, but I'll say it again. Do you think that David and I are some heartless bastards who sit around drinking bourbon while ordinary people suffering in poverty? Yeah, I kinda think so, yeah. We're not drinking for fun, but out of grief. Our careers have been a series of missed opportunities. Why didn't you publicly apologize? That would have earned you a few more votes, maybe even enough to carry the election. I don't care about these damn votes, but I'm delighted that you won, my friend. Although some of the comments that you and your vice president made surely swung a few votes back my way. It's good to be out of the limelight. You made a good showing of yourself at the press conference. Keep it up. I called you for one simple reason. You see, there's one powerful person who refuses to admit your victory. And who is that person exactly? Stop it. You know who I'm talking. Is that guy from the opening video? Probably that's exactly who he's talking about. You've been shitting on... Yeah. Waster. What? Waster? I guess so. And he wants to get his hands on you. Right now, he's got a whole army of Secret Service agents guarding you. That's why he's looking for any lead to keep you out of the White House. And I assure you, even if you do make it, this will not make your life any safer. Things might get even worse. So what is he planning to do? I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise of your first days in office. You'll see soon enough. David, how might I best help our new friend out of his trouble without myself raising an eyebrow? Any eyebrows? Well, Dew, that's quite a task. I can only share my experiences. I personally orchestrate the leaks that come from my administration. Say that I say what I will do first, second, and third. And in the end, I do the fourth instead. Thus, I remain unpredictable to my opponents and smoke out the traitors. Well, you're quite an asshole. I myself always keep everything under lock and key. The kind of lock that no one can pick. But our dear friend here doesn't know the art. It would seem his lock has already been picked. So what do you expect me to do with all of that? Don't sit idly, but prepare yourself. As I said, a massive assault is already underway against you. If you're not swept away by the first wave, then the second one will almost surely finish you off. Let's say this, so long as our interests remain intertwined, I will help you. You've already received news from a person who is not publicly connected with me, so no one will learn that I'm helping you. Publicly, I will continue to shake my fist at you, and you must likewise continue your public criticism of me. Keep telling the world what a bastard I am. Don't worry, it's like sweet music to me, and no one will suspect our collusion. Well, I mean, I don't trust him, but I hope you're not lying to me. Hopefully, like, something will come out of it. I never lie. Sometimes I distort the truth, that's all. You do it all the time, do you? Do you not? And now I'm sorry, but I must be alone with David. Or I guess David, right? He's the only one who can help me out of the pile of shit I find myself in. I have one simple wish, a quiet retirement. Please, try to understand, my friend, and if possible, don't discuss our conversation with anyone. Although, who would believe you if you did? Mr. President-elect, again, please forgive me. It's a pity that we had to meet under such circumstances, but I simply couldn't refuse Dew's request. I promise, next time we meet it will be just the two of us. Okay. What? Buddy, I decided to bring back the good old days and found out something most unpleasant. We are being spied upon. And no, we're not talking about Secret Service agents. Some shady characters are watching every step we take. According to my old contacts in the FBI, they refer directly to the Warren Monger, head of national intelligence. So CIA? Here's a recording I made of the other day, abiding by all rules of secrecy. As soon as I gather more evidence of illegal surveillance, we'll counterattack them together. Okay. Buddy, the election race has been really stressful for us. Everyone's on the edge about to tear each other's throats out. Alta believes Alvaro even Clint can contain his irritation and taps on the table when you talk to him. But it's me, a man with vulnerable soul, who suffers the most. Luckily, my college buddy, the coolest psychologist ever, is in DC. It's not cheap, but why don't we call him for debriefing? He'll have it all sorted out in 10 minutes, otherwise I'm gonna lose my mind. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I think I didn't tell him anything that would compromise me, so go right ahead. Mr. President, our corporation has created the Jupiter N. I believe that... What was the name of the Russian vaccine? Some sort of a Sputnik, right? So I guess Sputnik V, Sputnik 5, so I guess it's a dig at that, right? I believe that one day it will eradicate flu, but anti-vaccine lobby has been on the rise, calling us greedy baby killers. To make people trust pharmaceuticals more, we live vaccinate movie stars, bloggers, and politicians. President Faced, for example, has already participated. Would you like to be part of this campaign? You donate a shot to your shoulder. We donate 150 to your charity account. Sounds great. I need money. You've received your first item. To use it, go to the items tab. Okay. You can use items to earn ratings boost and other bonuses. You can also sell them to Noah. He's always happy to buy compromising evidence and the like, and he knows how to make it pay well. To get new items on missions and complete assignments. Okay, to get new items, complete missions and assignments. I don't think I want to sell that. That's basically CIA spying on me, so I definitely do not want to sell it. Darling, I suggest you hold on to the blackmail material unless you... Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I urgently need money or approval ratings. There is no need to sell it if to Noah right away. It may come in handy when dealing with influential people. Okay, what do we have here? Brent Face isn't going to give up on the White House without a fight. I love the picture. Hey man, we have a problem. Remember Ben Dreyer, who leaked the polling figures ahead of the Wisconsin primary? I don't, but go ahead. He became our elector there. So Trailer just called and told me that Face people approach him with an offer. You can guess what they wanted. For him to defy the will of the people and vote with his conscience in the Electoral College. In return, they promised Traer a place in the Face new administration. You know what that means. Since Face couldn't win the election fairly, he intends to buy it. Okay. Yeah, it's probably that guy from jail is trying to like mess with us, right? Face has nothing to do with it, Tony. There's other more dangerous people behind this. The deep what do you call it? Deep government? No. What's the name? Deep state. Deep state. That's the name. Are you buying Face propaganda, man? You've said yourself. He's to blame for everything. Won the majority of the electors, and if they always went with the voters' wishes, there'd be nothing to worry about. But in some states, electors have the right to vote as they please. So what do we do now? Don't worry, I already figured out a solution. Traer told Face people that he needed to think about their offer, so we still have a chance to do something if we work quickly. First, we need to figure out what can stop Wisconsin elector from voting however he pleases. Then we'll know what to do. The election law of each state has so many wrinkles. It's enough to trip up the devil himself. But when it comes to law, our Clint is devil's worst nightmare. We should ask him what he thinks. Mr. President-elect, I do not know the laws of each state by heart, but I can quickly learn responsibilities of Wisconsin's electors. Or you could bring a lawsuit against the state and wait for the court to deliberate the results of Wisconsin electors. Either way works fine, but the court could take months, and I don't think you have that kind of time. Okay. You're future commander-in-chief and don't have time to do the dirty work yourself. Use your subordinates instead, but remember that they can't act on their own. The success of each mission depends on your orders. What does that mean? Like 0 or 1? Huh? Yeah, let's go with this one. So Wisconsin's law does not require electors to vote for the candidate who won their state. They can vote for you or Feist or Mickey Mouse. That's right, anyone. So if 9 out of Wisconsin's 10 electors support Feist, he'll remain president. Okay. See, man, I wasn't just sounding the alarm for no reason. Just imagine what would happen if Feist buys the electors. That's ready-made scenario for a second civil war. Why not? I don't think, like, after a civil war, anybody would have any interest in prosecuting me. They'd have a lot more problems on their plate. We'll have a mess on our hands unless we get real evidence that Feist is trying to perform a coup. Until then, Traer won't release public statement that they tried to buy him. We better not push him, because we don't want to spook Feist people if they're watching him. And it wouldn't look good if we were photographed with him. I say it's time to send Alvaro on a business trip. Let him carefully observe all the Traer's contacts. Feist will send someone to get Traer's answer. to his offer. Sir, I'll keep an eye on Traer and take photos of everyone he meets. I won't take your presidency, right? But tell me, should I be all over him to make sure I don't miss anything, or is it better for me to keep my distance? I don't know. You're the surveillance expert. You tell me. I don't know. What does this mean? Like, what does 0 and 1 mean? I don't know. Stay close. Oh, I guess. Oh, I see. That causes stress. Okay. Mission causes your subordinates stress. If they accumulate 5 stress points, they'll refuse to work, but a good president can always find a way to get their exhausted employees on his back on task. Got it. Would be just good to see like a hover text over it or something. Sir, I didn't let my eyes off Traer even for a second, but he yelled at me the first that fast people wouldn't come if there was a guy with a camera hanging around. Explained to him that it was the only way I could get the evidence we needed. But it turned out Traer was right. We didn't catch any signs of phased people. A journalist noticed me. Some dude in the glasses took my picture right outside of the Traer's house. They're writing that you're buying Traers and all the fuck's sake. Like, dude, come on. Man, like I always say, you got to keep both eyes on the media. Phased people have turned everything on its head. So now we're the ones looking like crooks. But don't worry, we're fighting back. Alta will deal with them. Like, why would we buy the electors? Like, seriously, we already won them. That makes no sense. That's like literally makes no sense. Why so glum, cowboy? The evil newspapers writing that we're hunting down the poor electors? Nothing to worry about. It's all totally fixable. Just tell me, do we address the issue through official channels or are we gossiping? I'm afraid that if we give them a press release now, no one will believe us. Time for that has passed. But if we just spread it by rumor, that's a completely different situation. Yes, rumors are less predictable, but whatever happens will be at a safe distance. Well, it's up to you, cowboy. Well, at least she, like, gives me advices, right? Spread a rumor. Go. Oh, she's at 3. Oh, I see. The things, like, below, it's their stress level. Cowboy, the journalist wrote everything we needed. The Face administration is in panic, denying that they had any contact with the electors. Meanwhile, the electors themselves are all pledging to vote according to the will of the people. Man, let me start with the good news. The electors are voting in good faith, and now there's nothing standing between you and the presidency. True, a couple of deserters crossed over to Faye's side, but it wasn't enough to affect the vote. But now, for the bad news. Faye and the newspapers he controls keeps accusing us of pulling the electors, but I assure you it's only the crooks from Washington who are believing any of it. Regular people know the truth on our side. This makes no sense. If we won the electors fair and square, like, why would we bully them? Makes no sense. Why? Okay, at least I got back to where I started, I guess. Team stress update. Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, we'll need to keep an eye on that. Morning events, daily brief. Courting the elites. Cool. Professor of Landscape Design. Sir, did you see how President Faze decorated the White House for Christmas? He wrote Christmas tree legs around the pillars and hung weird stuffed animals on the railings. It's a disgrace. It's some sort of a... I don't know. What do you call that? Not really. It's some sort of a cult thing, right? I'm a biggest fan and would love to help decorate the President Black headquarters for a small fee. Shall we show face to what's... It's not a lot of money, but it will eventually might actually, you know, pile up. What real style is all about? I mean, sure, fine. Personal photographer, sir, have you noticed how stylish the leader of China and Russia look in their photos? Would you like to do the same? Let me tell you the secret of the photogenic looks. There's an army of makeup artists working for these guys. Why don't we hire Hollywood makeup and sound effects artists, special effects artists to make you look your best? I mean, sure, that sounds nice. Let's do it. Mr. President, it's too nosy outside the headquarters. Alvaro is writing his surreal detective story on mechanical typewriter. Alta is listening to country music, and Ollie is pounding a baseball monotonously against the wall. It keeps me from meditating. Allocate some money for soundproofing of my office? You're not that stressed. You know what? No, we need money. Like, you'll be fine. Like, if Alta comes to me, like, with problems of stress, sure, but you're fine. Go for the daily brief? Sure. Give me the daily brief. Ooh, I need to send 2 people there, right? Man, those spooks are so arrogant. For weeks now, the CIA has been refusing to send your daily presidential briefing. It's a trove of crucial data about what's really happening in the world. You have the right to read those briefings from the date you're elected, but the intelligence community is pretending you don't even exist. And without your presidential briefings, you won't be able to manage the country once you take office. What are they thinking? That Feist will parachute back into White House on the strength of his little bullying scandal? But don't you worry, I have a plan on how to get into their offices and obtain the brief. For this, we need people who don't create any unnecessary noise. Keep in mind that we won't be able to act remotely. Even his third-rate CIA office is walled from basic hacker attacks. Okay. I don't know, I was thinking about doing, like, sending a lawyer there, but considering we need to sneak in, I guess Alvaro and Oli. Yeah, you guys go. Have you heard about the National Intelligence Service Director, son? The guy's name is Dean May. The insolent ass took his mother's maiden name and went to work under his father's wing at one of CIA's less classified office branches. I guess he figured that nepotism was rampant in the department and no one would bat an eyelid. There's plenty of gossip about this Dean May. Back when I worked at the bureau, they say the guy doesn't even do a damn thing, just goes to work to have fun, doesn't even follow standard safety measures. And his father covers for him. Okay. How about just fire his father? We don't have that power yet. Feist is still president, and we need a brief now. On the other hand, since his father is the director, the kid may well have access to the most secret documents, and none of his co-workers will complain. But if anyone in foreign intelligence finds out about Dean May, they'll immediately try to recruit him. And he probably won't even know what he's getting into. Of course, we're no foreign intelligence, we're fighting for the interests of the ordinary Americans. For their sake, we'll need to go outside the normal procedures of our special service. What use is the law if no one's following it? Sure, we'll break the law. Exactly, you get it, man. First, we need to find out which secret documents Dean May can access on his computer. Then we access them in a way that May won't find about. Do you have anyone in mind who can punish Dean May for his carelessness? During covert mission, no one is safe from unfortunate consequences. If you need help, you can call extra subordinates for a mission, but keep in mind that they may not be happy to be suddenly summoned. So, what exactly do we need? get into Dean May's office and copy all the documents off his computer. Phone Dean May in the afternoon. Or this guy. Hack Dean May's computer remotely. Okay, do that. Collect information on his social network. Achieve that Dean May guy is busy. His relationship to the director isn't particularly well hidden, and his workday life is well documented. Almost all of his personal data is wide open. But that's okay. May recently left a comment about his local barista who works in the coffee shop near his office. I'm waiting for coffee in my office. The guards are expecting you. I hope you find this information useful. Okay, so now we can get into... Why is it so stressful, dude? What can you do? Like, aren't you supposed to be good at this? Like, aren't you the one, like, doing all this? You know what? Go for it. I guess we'll have to... Sir, I got a job at a coffee shop by May's office and found out from my coworkers that he wouldn't start work until they brought him his morning cappuccino. For me, putting milk in a coffee is like throwing money away, but I'll do anything for the sake of national interest. When I got into his office, May wasn't at his desk. The only way I could tell he was at work that day was that the computer was on. There was an open pack of cigarettes on the desk. But I wasn't going to wait for him to come back. I grabbed the flash drive off his desk and bingo, there's a bunch of documents on it, including the ones you were looking for. Okay, mission successful, I guess. Hey man, check this out. Have you seen what the intelligence service was hiding from us? Sensational stuff here. There's a schism growing in China within mid-level party leaders. In Turkey, another military coup broke out, but the authorities covered it up. An attempt was about to be made against the president of Venezuela, but the plan was cancelled at the last moment. The president of Russia has completely lost it. They're showing old recycled footage of him on TV, while the Security Council has taken up leadership of his country. Nice job, buddy. I finally feel like we're about to come into power, but the main thing is we put those swaggering assholes in the place before we even got to the White House. Okay, so what is that? There's a folder with all the documentation, all the information. Don't lose it. Oh. Oh, okay. Mainstream media report that the intelligence community has finally begun to take President-elect seriously. Their leadership has finally come to terms with the fact that they failed to get the candidate into the White House. Okay. Unfortunate that he got so stressed, but oh well. Eh? Oh, okay, I got some bonuses from landscape designing. Cool. And my photographer, oh, that's a lot of approval. Just 5k. Trust fund. Mr. President-elect, it is time to decide what you will do with your assets. Although the law does not require the head of state to get rid of them, this is done so that the president's business interests won't influence his political decisions. You can put the assets in a blind trust managed by people you don't know. The assets will be returned to you when you leave the White House, or you can sell them off to make money. You'll get a handsome sum that exceeds your current cash reserves by about 30-40%. True, these assets could have been sold for more money a few years ago, but who knew you would become president? The predecessors most likely put their assets in a trust fund, but Fayez distinguished himself by pretending that he had no assets other than the cash and did nothing with them. Well, didn't I promise to put it in trust? I'll put it in trust as I said I would. Good call, Mr. President-elect. I'll make sure your assets are safe for a few years for you. Okay. Though now thinking about it, probably would be a good idea to sell them, but Okay, transferring money. Good. Promise complete. Cool. Now, I guess courting the elites. Let's court some elites, shall we? Ooh. I'm sure you'd like to take a break, but it's time we build bridges with the elites. Otherwise, we simply won't be able to rule the country. So we've arranged a charity event and invited some of the most influential Americans to attend. Without their support, we would get bogged down on the first tight corner. The success of your presidency is hanging on this event. Please bear in mind that the media mustn't catch wind of the fundraiser. They'll shout that we're selling out to the elites, so don't draw too much attention. I want this to be quiet. Get the elites representative. Make sure that the press doesn't find out. Well, the press person and I guess the lawyer should be there, because he can do persuasion. She can do other stuff, I guess. Let's go with that. To begin with, let's make sure that the invitation to the fundraiser reach the people we want. Who at headquarters best knows how to connect with the elite? Probably her. Or he has a lot of clients. You know what? Personally invite your regular clients. Go. Mr. President, there are many politicians and major businessmen among my regular clients. They're all reasonable people, so I didn't have to work hard to persuade them. They're all eager to meet the future president. Cool. Oh, who would have thought that so many influential people would want to come to the fundraiser? Apparently they were just waiting for us to make the first move. Someone even left me a note saying that we would donate a symbolic amount to our charity every month. Don't flatter yourself, they only agreed to come because you know who wields the power. Okay, like, why? Like, it's not like we need to be an asshole to, like, our wife, right? Or future wife, whatever. Why be surprised? They're people, just like everybody else. Exactly. Although Tony tells me that the elites are all a bunch of vindictive schemers. That's not on board right now. You need to focus on making sure that the press doesn't learn anything about the fundraiser. Otherwise, you'll have scandal on your hands. I've already sent Secret Service boneheads home. Relations with the elites are already tense. There's no need to ruffle them. With full body searches, Secret Service wouldn't be much help anyway. Any ideas on how we can protect the event from the journalist? Well, I'm pretty sure she should have something, right? Hang poster at the entrance with program for a different event? Or post fake legal notice at the end? Okay, go for it. She doesn't get any stress from that'll be good. To throw the media off our scent, I made a modern art exhibition and hung it at the entrance. I know these journalists are idiots, they only pretend to be cultured. Just ask them the difference between modernism and postmodernisms, the fools will go white. So take a guess, cowboy. Which journalist decided to stay for my art exhibition? You guessed it. They all ran for the exit. And you invited guests only made it look more convincing. Cool. Good job. Good, the president didn't learn anything about our fundraiser. I figured we'd be doomed with so many guests. Let's focus on collecting as many donations as possible. Okay, let's do that. This is a robbery. Everybody against the really? Guns behind your head and keep your mouth shut. Get to it, boys. You, check the storage room on the left. You, check the right. I got the entrance. Don't bother with no wallets. We're here for the wine. Just find the bottle with the labels I showed you and move it. 2 minutes and we're out. Wait, it's Mr. Coyote. Hey, brother, you remember me? Oh. Oh, great, Conrad, yes. How could I forget your ugly mug? I'll be damned, it's really you. I noticed you're a big shot now. Always on TV. But underneath it all, you haven't changed a bit. You sure put face down good. Nice moves. I told all the homies, yeah, that's my old boss, Coyote. They told me I have been smoking too much whack. You got me tripping, like wondering if my brain is busted. You're obviously tripping. What are you doing here? Petty robbery? Brother, you got too much money to note my troubles. There ain't nothing petty about this robbery. You know how much one of those bottles you got here cost? Tens of thousands. With a score like that, I can retire. You feel like breaking me off a piece? I don't know. No, it's like, no. Okay, come on. No, you want to live here right now. Coyote, is that the way to treat an old friend? Or ain't we friends anymore? Of course, I mean, I could probably use him at some point. Sure, we're friends. You know this piece of shit? Then explain to him that he's screwing up an important charity event. A charity event? Really? Okay, brother, I won't drop anybody. After all, we're old friends. But you should think about keeping me on. Look at the people you got working for you. We're not tight as security. You know, I never let you down. Alright, guys, let's get out of here. Okay. I guess that's done. Well, you kept it together in front of our guest. Everyone must think it was some kind of performance. And you acted your party well, but something tells me that many guests... that guy meant business. How's it you know that thug? He must have thought I was some... he's an old acquaintance of mine. We were from the same neighborhood, but we went our separate ways a long time ago. Yeah, I guess with that. He's an old acquaintance, but we went our separate ways. That's good. I hope we never see him again. Guess it was a good idea to send the Secret Service guy. It wasn't a great idea to send the Secret Service guys home. But just think, we dealt with those thugs ourselves. Thank God it didn't end in tragedy. I do wish we'd spend the evening differently. Maybe next time we could go to Broadway. We haven't been there for ages. Okay, now what is that? And this is a souvenir of tonight's dinner, a recording of the guests' conversation. I now carry a tape recorder with me everywhere, on Noah's recommendation. He says no one has ever invented better device for a successful political career. Great, so we got some more, you know. Okay, got a little bit more. And, oh, nice, 50k per month, that's at least something. Cool. Secret Santa? Really? Okay, let's see what the Secret Santa thing is. Hey man, I need your help. We're having a Secret Santa party at the headquarters, and I need to come up with a gift for Ellie. And honestly, I have no idea what she likes. Oops. Oh, right. It's too bad. We've worked together so much, but I know almost nothing about her. She's a nice person, but keeps to herself, and I'd hate to get something she didn't like. You got to help me out, man. Sure, I'll tell you what to do. Recently she has been tired and has trouble falling asleep, but she'd like a silk sleeping mask. What? Silk sleeping mask? What the hell is that? Picking an antique coffee table that we can put in one of the rooms for the White House. Isn't that a little bit expensive for a Secret Santa event? Give her a fancy bottle cork. Sure, this. bottle cork system opener thing. You mean that device that makes a microscopic hole in that cork so it doesn't get stuck in a bottle? A friend of mine has one of those. I never have thought of that. Thanks, man. Well, my dear present, were you my secret Santa? Like the man behind the Santa. Your actual secret Santa had no idea what you like. Really, when I first saw the gift, I figured it first was from Alta, but then I started to second guess myself. By the way, I played the secret Santa for Alta and I gave her a cowboy hat. I can't imagine how perfectly it suits her. She told me on several occasions that she'd never dare buy one for herself, so she was happy. I just told her our dinner in the wine cave turned into a disaster. I'll insist that she wears that hat at every press conference. Yes, and bring a lasso too. If she doesn't like one of the questions she hears, she'll hogtie the journalist right from the right there in front of the cameras. Sure. Okay, this was fun, but I need to go to work on that. To work on that amendment. I'll probably be up late, so don't wait up. Okay. Okay. Who? Head of security. Wolf Hyde. Syria, victory in the election is indisputable to me, but some of the FACE supporters are having a hard time accepting their defeat. There is a small group of people holding sign FACE gets the crown, the rest of you are going down. They're heading towards your headquarters, and they're not responding to police warnings. They want these protesters dispersed with tear gas? No, that would be bad. I guess we can go to the next month, but I think I'm pretty tired already. I've been talking for like 2 hours straight. That's a bit much. So I think I will stop now. And right, we got some items. That's cool. So thank you to everybody who was watching, and goodbye.